All right, now time to talk to you about, I love echinacea. I love coneflowers.
It's one of my favorites for that meadow garden look. They're native to North America. Deer don't really like them. Everything about these flowers are perfect, including this price. So Alberto, you know, I've been looking a lot to add some coneflowers to my garden, and I've been looking online at a lot of different places. I have yet to find anyone who sends you coneflowers for $8 a piece, shipping for free. Generally, they're like $15, $17. Shipping for free. We're doing it $8 a plant, and you get 3 gorgeous colors. That yellow, you get a pink, you get an orange, and it's a really special variety.
Well, M95032 is your item number. $5 gets it home on Easy Pay, so maybe you're picking up more than one collection today. And it does come to us from our girl next door, Carolyn Gracie.
She's our favorite neighbor.
I know, we do love her. Hello.
Hi, friends. How are you?
Great.
I love that you brought these to us.
Well, these, as you know, are my total favorites.
Yeah.
And here's why, you guys. It checks all the boxes. First of all, perennial, check.
Check.
Bird and rabbits,
yes, please.
Love, but deer resistant. And the bunnies really won't bother these too much either, as you probably know, Sandra, if you got them in your yard. We also have a very cold hardy variety. These can go in a pot or in the ground. Zone 4 through 9, they will withstand -20-degree winters in a pot.
Wow.
Okay, so that's really unusual.
So these are super hardy, and these actually bloom this first season. Most echinacea, you have to wait till year number 2 to see much flower power happening.
So take a look at this, right? I mean, like, these are beautiful, beautiful blooms, and they're big blooms, too.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
extra
then
large.
show us how we get them.
Okay,
how do we
so
receive
here's
them?
the guys that come to you. You're gonna get 3, you get a set of 3. You're gonna get a beautiful magenta fuchsia, you're gonna get a bright orange, and you're gonna get a golden yellow. And they are just tons of blooms, huge cones with lots of seeds for the birds to eat in the winter, and really, really big blooms. They're gonna get 24 to 36 inches full size.
So that's a really great, like, middle of the border.
Yes, so they will get about half that size this summer. Remember, these are a perennial, and these are not a perennial you have to dig up and put away, and just leave them in the ground, because as a native North American plant, these are going to do well all over the country.
And once they get established, they're really water-wise. Like, you don't have to water these a lot.
No, very drought-tolerant.
This will not be like you go on vacation and come back and all your flowers died.
Yeah, I know. These are so easy. The price is great. They've been very, very popular. Take advantage. This is one of the few things I brought back from last year's collection because they were so popular.
And I would say they're really hardy. Like sometimes I see like sockeyed Susans, right? And then I think like, oh, like which ones would I like more? I feel like the echinacea ones, like they're so much more hardy.
Well, the black-eyed Susans, which is what I call them,
Yeah.
I have a huge patch of those growing in my mulch bed too, and they're really pretty and very reliable, but they're much smaller.
Yeah.
And, you know, they don't last as long. These are going to start blooming early summer all the way through fall, and if you want to cut them down, you can cut them down to a couple inches above the ground. Yeah. But I would suggest leaving them up because you don't have to deadhead these, and these extra large cones or seed pods at the top are full of food for your winter songbirds. You know, those little birdies, you always wonder, how do they survive? They're so delicate and tiny, and they've survived that cold winter. Well, they survive by eating constantly because that generates heat, which keeps their body warm.
Plus, it also gives your garden, I never will cut my echinacea down. I know some people do it in the fall because they want a tidy look. I actually love it in the winter because then it creates like this idea of sculpture. There's a really famous Dutch horticulturist and gardener. He creates these big wildflower gardens, and he uses these and shows how all 4 seasons they look so pretty.
And
so
when the snow falls on them,
so
they're
pretty. And I'm getting a couple of sets because unfortunately I have echinacea that I did not even get from QVC, and I've been out in my garden a lot. I don't think it made it this winter. We had some very, very, very cold weather.
Yeah.
I don't think it's coming back up this year.
It's not all created equally. I mean, these
and I
are
love these
super
colors.
hardy.
These are the colors we want.
And a lot of people want native plants now, and I get a lot of requests for plants that are accustomed to being in North America because they do so much better here. And these are definitely a native. These would look great with something like your lantana. They give you that huge, they're not really a tropical plant, but they give you that tropical look with these colors. And these really fill in all the gaps and low maintenance.
And a lot of perennials, like you don't want to put in a container only because they only bloom for like a couple of weeks, and then you've got like like the rest of your season a container of just green.
Right.
These will give you months
Constantly.
of blooms in containers.
And again, they get 2 to 3 feet big. So that means you can fill up a big whiskey barrel with this whole set. Or if you want to put them in separate pots, like these smaller whiskey barrels here would be absolutely perfect. But don't put them in a tiny pot because they're going to expand and get lots of blooms and get really big. They're also very sturdy. So when you get a storm come through or a lot of rain, a lot of your flowers get pounded into the ground.
They fall over, yeah.
These stay upright. They're nice and strong. And again, you get the color all summer. And the pollinators love them all summer. So these are going to attract all the birds, little hummingbirds and bees and butterflies. But then the songbirds love them all winter. So you're really doing something nice for the wildlife in your garden all year.
Listen,
so
3,000 sets of 3 have already been ordered. We have fewer than 2,800 remaining. Now, a lot of you are buying more than one set. That makes a lot of sense. These make beautiful, like, back borders as well.
And Carolyn, I'm going to tell you right now, so because, okay, I'm a little bit of a freak about this. Every morning, I take my coffee and I go outside, and my husband laughs at me because he's like, who's that lady standing out there in the garden? Like, I'll just stand there and like look and see what's coming up. I know, I just stand and stare.
My neighbor must think I'm insane.
Yeah,
because
and I do it
just out there
sometimes
staring.
in my pajamas.
But
I know.
that's the fun of
But
gardening.
I am convinced that this year I lost Echinacea because it was so cold.
Yeah.
So I have been actively looking to see what's out there. I'm going to tell you right now, and if you're looking, you know this is true. You can't find these varieties of Echinacea for $8 a plant that it ships for free.
Yeah.
They are double that,
you get
and
big
they
plants.
charge you a lot of money in shipping.
Yeah, and
Like-
if you were to find them in like a big box store, I don't even think I've ever seen Echinacea in a big box store, right? Like the depots.
But
and
not
stuff
at this
like that.
price,
But
and you don't
yeah,
also
would
know what you're
not.
getting.
You're
Yeah.
getting big babies already. Some of them will be growing flowers. So these are ready to go this season. You get one of each color. You're going to get the yellow, the magenta / fuchsia, and that beautiful bright orange.
They're gorgeous.
And again, these will perform. These are
so
very, very drought tolerant. They're very low maintenance. They are guaranteed performers. You're going to get a ton of color, a looky-loo garden, herb appeal, and the critters will love your garden too.
And they're sturdy. They really do stand right
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you don't have to worry about these toppling over.
Yeah.
M95032 is your item. Your item number. Check out of your shopping cart and get these home. Pick up more than one set for yourself
Lots of
because
people are doing
I
that.
love
Yeah.
having. Now, are they labeled?
Yeah, you'll actually get a mix of the colors in each pot.
Oh, okay. Oh,
so
that's great.
So they're all mixed all together, so you'll have that huge variety.
So pretty,
Thanks,
which is
you
that whole
guys.
wildflower look or flower look.
Thanks, our favorite girl next door.
Love you. See
We
you
love
soon.
you. Listen, fewer than 2,500 remain. If you want it, $5 gets it home on Easy Pay. All plants ship for free, including this one. M95032 is your item number for that. Okay, time to cue what I would call a big deal all the time from Garden Reflection.